Well, good afternoon. As you're watching the sports network, that normally comes to you every Saturday from the hour of 11 to 12:30, and then we just try to have an exclusive interview with the honorable minister. As yesterday we congratulated him because we have seen a tremendous achievement under his tenure as a minister, and then recently was yesterday's tremendous achievement that is Gambia making it to the AFCON for the first time under his tenure, and then we would like to engage him and then see how he feels. Well, good afternoon, Honorable Minister.
Good afternoon, Omar. Greetings to you and all the viewers.
As I can see a smile on the face already, what will you tell us about yesterday's great achievement in the history of the nation under your tenure?
Well, we are happy. That's what I can say. We are happy and we are grateful to Allah for the blessings, and also grateful to the Gambian population for all the support, and of course to the president and the entire executive and the government for all the necessary support, financial support, moral and encouragement, and of course special thanks also to the Gambia Football Federation for the good management that has given us this kind of results, and everyone who is involved, the coach, the players. Like you said, this is great history for us, having to succeed to go to AFCON for the first time after many decades of trial and fail.
Well, we will come to the arrangement intact well before the game because we all know the win starts at somewhere. That is the arrangement that were in place, first of all, by, let's say, promising the players the necessary arrangement that's supposed to take place, that is, which includes chartering a flight for them. But what happened when the lion was made at the end of the day? How were your reaction? How did you feel like the day they supposed to come, it was failed due to some kind of technical issue? How was your reaction?
No, I had no reaction. I was okay. I was under control. It's just the public that probably did not understand what was happening, and people were overreacting, I must say. But we know, and GFF knows, that everything was under control. Arrangements were made. We don't determine when players come to the Gambia. The arrangement that GFF gave us was that the players are supposed to be arriving, or they want the players to arrive on Monday, so that they can have their training sessions on Tuesday and then Wednesday for the Thursday game. So, in essence, that was the arrangement that we put in place. Now, everybody knows the global issues and the fact that there has been difficulties in terms of travels, and we didn't even want to take chances, and we just went into charter the flight. Of course, we did that in November for the players. So that doesn't mean that the players are going to be picked up from wherever they are. All the players were supposed to converge because almost every one of them was in Europe. They were supposed to converge in Brussels, and then a flight will take them up from Brussels, bring them home, and then take them to Kinshasa in DRC, bring them back home here, and then take them to DRC at the end of the two games. So that was the arrangement, and everything was in place. But the flight that was supposed to bring them from Brussels to here was not positioned in Brussels. It was positioned in Poland, and they were supposed to get make some arrangements in terms of landing rights and all of those things. And the group that we chartered to do that could not be able to get those license on time, and that caused the delay. So instead of leaving on Monday, they were able to leave on Tuesday, because by the time they got the license on Monday, it was already late. However, us and the company that we chartered to do this went into an arrangement to say, now that this is not going to be possible, the only reason why they were coming on Monday is to do training on Tuesday. We can still make arrangements for the team to do a training in Brussels on Tuesday. And a football field was booked for them, a coach, a boss was booked for them to try to take, and a hotel for them to stay. So they stayed in a Hilton hotel in Brussels near the airport, and the next day, which is Tuesday, they were supposed to get onto the bus and go to the ground, the field, to train, which is just about 15 minutes from the airport. And those things were there. So and then once they're done with training, they have their lunch, then they will board the flight and come to Banjul and have the second day of training on Wednesday. So all of these things were in place. But now, in terms of when crisis happen, what we expect people, because we're all in this together, if anybody wants the team to qualify, we want the team to qualify more. The players, the GFF, everybody wants the team to qualify even more than the population, because we know what it means to us. We know the amount of investment we put in there. And like I said, everything was under control, and we know the team will definitely come here on Tuesday without missing anything that was planned for from the beginning.
I guess it was well smoothly prepared because, as we know, we thought the team canceled their training instead. That's why they couldn't train in on Monday here in Banjul. But it never comes to the notice of the general public that the team has trained. And then, how do you make up all those arrangements within that moment? Because we all know the flight was due to uh, come into the Gambia that's on that very Monday so that they can have their training session. But with circumstances, as you rightly mentioned, things were delayed. But how soon were the arrangement made for the team to have a training in Belgium?
No, it was on that Monday because by Sunday night we started getting signals that there might be a possibility that the flight would not be able to leave Monday to be here Monday night. So we went to bed on Sunday with that kind of anticipation. So by the time it was Monday morning, we know that the flight would definitely not leave because like I said, Sunday they were either or. But by Monday we knew this thing couldn't happen. And the players were already traveling because they were supposed to travel from their countries that Monday to come to Brussels to board the flight to come. So that's when arrangement was made. For hotels, all you do is just have a link and go in there, have a telephone, and then call and make the contacts. And we do not do the contacts. The Bantabag group that is based in the UK did those contacts for them and booked the hotel and everything. So we had two arrangements. In an instance where the players would come in and the hotel wasn't booked, they can go in, pay, and when they come here, we refund them. Or we can do the Bantaba booking. So the Bantaba went in to make bookings for everybody who was coming in. And we know the number. It was 22 people that were supposed to come. And we did the bookings for all of those 22 people. And when they came into the airport, there was a staff of the Bantaba who would direct them to work with the coach and said, go to the hotel and take a room. And they went to the hotel. Now, football fields are just like any other place. You can take a telephone and then or go online and make bookings and choose a date and the number of hours you want to train. And they did that, went into online or that field, made a booking for 2 hours, and the bookings was between 7 to 10. That any time that they are available between 7 to 10, they have 2 hours to train in that field. You book a bus and it was available. So it's not like here where you have to go physically to be able to do bookings. In the Western countries, with the advancement of technology, you can go online and make all kind of bookings online, and you will get a confirmation, make the payments, the necessary payments, and you're good to go. So it was easy as that.
Well, talking about that Bantaba group, it's been rumors that they were the, let's say, providers of the first chartered flight. They make the arrangement, but coming to this one, they were, let's say, overruled. All the arrangements were necessarily made by the, let's say, the ministry and the GFF. They were overruled, and then that's why all these circumstances happened. And then, what will you tell the general public about that?
No, well, I don't know I don't understand what that means. Yes, the group that did the chartered flight for Gabon.
Yeah, they were boycotted instead of them making the same arrangement, but they were boycotted.
No, they were not boycotted. Nobody boycotted them. What happened is that the first time when they took the, um, the players, brought the players here and took them to Gabon and then back and to Brussels, they were contracted by the GFF and they went on to make the same arrangements for them. This time around, GFF opened it and made some bidding, and for some reason they did not win the bidding. But we are not into that. For me, as a ministry, yes, we took over the responsibility to do the arrangements, and we went back to the same group that did the first arrangement in November and contracted them to do the arrangement for this time. And apart from that little hitch, every other thing went on smoothly. And the flight will be here tomorrow. In fact, it's arriving tonight, and will be parked at the Banjul International Airport to take the players to DRC and bring them back Tuesday morning, and then take them again to DRC to Brussels on Wednesday afternoon.
Oh, okay, that's well understood. Well, coming to the game, we all know when we were all going to the Independence Stadium, we all know we have something in hand. That is, the 3 points will truly take us to, let's say, the AFCON for the first time. But like a win for Gabon will also definitely mean Gambia will qualify without kicking a ball in DRC. When you came into the Independence Stadium and then the first half was goalless, how were you feeling?
Well, it's like normal. Football is always tense. When you're watching the game and all you want is a win, and you know what a win means to you, everybody was tense. And at the same time, we were also following what was happening in Franceville between DRC and Gabon, because we know that the outcome of those two games will determine our qualifications or not based on a win or a draw. So we were there. We knew Gabon was winning DRC, and all we wanted is for us to win, so that it will not be an issue of let's wait and see what happens in DRC. It will be an automatic qualification. So there was that tense moments when we went into the first half, end of the first 45 minutes, and it was a goalless, and we know we were playing at home. This is our best opportunity to qualify, but we all had trust in the coach. We also had trust in the players, and we know that qualification means a lot to them, and they are not going to compromise anything that will affect their qualification. So, despite the tense situation, the hopes were always high that Gambia would end up being victorious.
Like it is always there because we have seen you have even predicted the game, but you were all hope that the Gambia will make it. And then you told us earlier that okay, the player make it this month in earlier in September, I don't know, in November, that if they were catered for something like they have before, if that arrangement can be made, they promise solely they will win. But the ministry haven't just promised anything for now that they have made it to the AFCON for the first time. Do the ministry has anything in hand for the boys?
I don't know yet. Yes, and that's true. We said that in November after the Gabon encounter, we I met them at the Ocean Bay, and of course, in appreciation of all the things that they said the same, that what happened in November they wanted to repeat: special flight, better accommodation, allowances paid on time, and they promised qualify. We had the chartered flight. We put them back in the same hotel that they were staying in the first time, and then we get them their allowances upon arrival, and they delivered as they promised. Now, what happens after now would be dependent on, again, conversations between myself and the president and the minister of finance, because this is a chain work, and maybe the ministry of local government, because then we have to look at some bigger things to give them for the fact that they have qualified. But like I said the last time, I do not want to make promises, because it is not just up to the Minister of Youth and Sports to say this and it happens. It's a chain work, but we all as ministers have a responsibility. But in the end, there is somebody who is above us, who is the president, who can decide what to say. I know there are already arrangements possibly to meet the president, either when the teams comes back, most likely, if there is an opportunity. What he will offer or will depend on what he think is best and what we probably might be able to advise him. But no, I wouldn't want to make promises now.
Well, many will say Bakary tenures is always achievement, and then the luck is on Bakary. How do you always feel when you had such message?
No, well, yeah, no, people say that, but for me, I think it's just it happened that yes, it's under my term as minister, but I wouldn't want to take credit for anything that has happened. I think I will want to give the credit to everyone who has been part of the process. I came in and joined at a later time. Of course, there has been a minister who has been around who started this process with the GFF. The management at GFF has been doing extremely well. It's the same management since then. Now, one person changing doesn't change everything. Quite a number of things have changed in between my appointment and now, and we are appreciative, or I am appreciative of that, and appreciative of the fact that the president have given me the open door to be able to work. The Minister of Finance have been supporting. But the only thing that I have changed that I believe has contributed a lot towards the achievements is the investment. Now, sports is about investing. If you cannot have the required resources, you do not get the results. So one thing that we have done when we came is to ensure that the team gets what they need on time and also be able to improve the standards. So in the past, they used to spend 2 days traveling before they can reach here, before they have to travel from one place to another and then travel to other places, maybe transit, because we do not have some of these direct flights. They take a lot of time to arrive here. And we all know, if you're a traveler, you know jet lag. You get tired when you sit in that flight for many hours. And then you sit in an airport on a transit for many hours. So by the time they arrive here, they're too tired. It have an impact on their performance. And that's why we changed that and got the chartered flight, so that it brings them straight up here. 6 hours you're in the Gambia. You do not have to go through any transit, and then have enough time to prepare, enough time to rest. And it's also about psychology. When a player is happy, he delivers. He performs more than what you probably expected. And then, so they get their allowances on time and all of those things. This is what we have brought in, and that's what contributes towards the success that we are getting. But in terms of the management, that is purely a different ball game, which is the Gambia Football Federation. And Lamin Badjie and his team has definitely been doing very well in terms of keeping the team together, ensuring that the coach is allowed to choose the players that he thinks are best. And the coach also would not play to the gallery. He works based on his instinct. If he thinks this player is good, he invites him. Of course, in the social media, people will make a lot of demand here and there, but he focused on what he thinks is the best, and he delivered the result. So for me, people will say, oh, when Bakary came, but I believe that there are bigger forces out there that have contributed towards this success.
Sport is improving when it comes to the country, that's no doubt, especially in the football fraternity. Well, actually, to have some achievement, it has to go with some stuff because we all know we have already one major independent stadium right now that is at Bakau. Are we seeing in the near future, because since we're talking about development of football, achievement in football, we need an infrastructure development when it comes to football aspect. Are we seeing in no time soon like a sort of a new stadium for the Gambia, a standard one?
We're trying. We're trying to get one. There's no doubt that government is interested in getting a second national stadium. And we know that the President of the Republic specifically is a football fan, is a football enthusiast. And he is so much committed to the issue of sports. And some of these changes that we see now is as of that. If you bring budgets here and then you have to discuss the Minister of Finance would support. But the president is the one who would eventually, if sometimes you cannot get something, you rush to him and say, hey, we need this. And, he can say, okay, go and get it, or ask justification, you give him justification, approves it. So he is one person that is supportive. And I have told him about the need to have a second stadium, and he supports the idea. Now, the issue is we have, as a ministry, as a team, needs to sit together to find a way of financing such a project. The land is available. We have had about 2 lands that we have already identified for a national stadium. What is left now is to be able to see how best we can get the funding. Government might not be in a position to provide all the required funds for a stadium because it's very expensive, but we have money to develop football fields and mini stadiums around town. But for the bigger one, we will have to look for a partner. And currently, as we speak, we are looking into that. Hopefully, by the time we get to the end of the year, we'll be able to say authoritatively if Gambia would get into constructing a new stadium next year or not. But the intention is there to start something.
Now in the, let's say, Cup of Nations, Gambia come Cameroon, 2022. What are we expecting from the boys and your, let's say, ministry when it comes to Cameroon? What are the expectations?
It's to win the trophy and bring it home. That's the expectation, if I'm going to put it in a simple way. I mean, if you qualify, you go into a competition, your aim is to win the trophy that is there. Now, this is our first time we are going. How far we can go will again depend on the preparation. There is nothing out there that is unattainable. Gambia have the potential to get anything in the AFCON in Cameroon. All it requires is to get the right players, get the right management in place, get the right financing, get the right preparation, and we should be able to do better there. So, and we are ready to do that kind of preparation to ensure that the team performs very well in Cameroon.
Well, finally, we missed out on something that has been a dream of many. That is the World Cup when we were eliminated by Angola on a preliminaries. And then, yet again, a preparation has to start now when it's come to 2026. How do we have to control on that, like the ministry? Are you guys considering that kind of preparation from now because of the preparation starts now?
Of course, yeah, we are preparing towards that. One thing that we will credit again the coach for is the consistency. This team that he has now has been with him for a while, and he has not really gotten. He do get new players occasionally, but the core of the team has been together for a very long time. So, and I know he has plans to add in some more players. Like you saw on the 50 list that he produced, he had some new players, including the under-20 Mamadou Bojang, who has been added. So already there are plans to bring in some new players so that the continuation can be there, that even if they don't get to start in the 11, they will be part of the 18-man that will play, or they will be part of the team in general. So yes, there are preparations, and we agreed yesterday, after the victory, that all of us needs to start working towards the preparation for AFCON, but also the preparations for the World Cup qualifiers that are upcoming.
Then let me just do it. You know, it was a victory. Everyone was so excited. We thought there could have been a sort of a public holiday so that we could all relax and hold. But instead, we have seen all came out to work, including the ministry.
Well, no, of course, there's been a lot of efforts that have been put in the past days and weeks to get this together. And yes, people might be tired, putting this, but of course, those people are not on holiday, So those who went out to celebrate yesterday, they might not deserve a public holiday. I think, I know I've seen some people say, even the players said, oh, the president should declare a public holiday. I've seen on TV people saying it should be a public holiday. And I know why they're asking for such. That that has been the mindset or the practice in the past. When things like that happen, yes, public holiday, but things change, and I think Gambia government have come to understand that when you declare a public holiday, unannounced, unplanned, it has a lot of impact on the economy, and it has a lot of impact on people's activities, and you will have to weigh the options. Which one is better? Do we declare a public holiday and shut down the business for 24 hours with all the economic loss and everything? Or do we allow people to operate and bring in more economy to be able to do what they're doing and able to have livelihoods? The option would be to leave the country to move forward and then, maybe continue the celebrations. The weekend is coming up, people can continue to celebrate. But public holiday, for me, is not an option. Of course, when I came here, somebody told me, he said, I thought you were going to say staff should stay at home today. I said, no, we have a lot of things to do. But again, it's the passion that we have. What commitment is there, determination is there, the work must continue.
Will there be any sort of celebration? Because we always think about, though they made the effort, that is the players, but will there be a sort of a celebration for the fans, the general public, where they will be gathered having a special celebration and a special day? Will there be any?
No, I don't think there will be anything like that. Again, we need to remember we are in a very difficult situation with the pandemic that is on. And of course, if there was no pandemic, I could have said the ministry would go ahead and organize something out there and invite the public to celebrate this victory. But if you do that, you're putting people's life at risk, because then you're exposing people to COVID and some other issues. And again, that's not the best thing. So difficult times would require some special measures and tactfulness. And I think that's what we're trying to apply here, but not organizing anything that will have an impact on people's health.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate you, and of course, I appreciate everyone out there. And I want to conclude by saying that thank you to every person, every Gambian, non-Gambian who is residing in the Gambia, people outside that have been supporting and giving us the encouragement, through calls and WhatsApp messages and all of that. And of course, we appreciate the prayers that have happened among the religious leaders and everyone. This is a victory for every person who is part of the Gambia, and this is a victory that all of us, no individual person, will claim ownership. It's something that we all have worked for, and the players delivered as we expected. We appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much. That's the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport, who have worked tremendously to see the country make it through to the AFCON for the first time in the history by providing all the necessary need from the management of GFF to the coach. So being there for the players wherever they are, he always communicate with them, attending the, let's say, the pre-op, and of course, even yesterday, he went all the way to the hotel to celebrate with the boys. Well, as I remind you, you're watching the Sport Network at Star TV. That's comes to you every Saturday from the hour of 11 to 12:30. Thank you very much.